sensitive, get energetically overwhelmed, not sure what's your responsibility versus the universe's, versus how to get out of black and white thinking, this is the video for you. I'm going to teach you 5 of my favorite tools to navigate energetic overwhelm. Hi, I'm Sonia. I teach people how to get back in touch with their innate divine GPS, their intuition. And today's video is one that is near and dear to my heart because I'm feeling a touch overwhelmed. Right now, if you can tell, my background's a little different. I am in Atlanta. I live in New Orleans, and just a few days ago, my partner and I had to pack up on an intuitive hit when we saw that storm coming and drive to Atlanta to avoid the hurricane. And I am so grateful that I'm here, that I've had the opportunity and ability to be able to evacuate when some people weren't as lucky. And over the past few days, I have been in a lot of energetic overwhelm, and for very real, understandable reasons. And when I think about this isn't a subject that's just special to me, but when we look at the world at large, and especially as empathic, sensitive, intuitive people, and especially people who want to make a difference in the world, getting overwhelmed can be really easy. Where do I start? What's my responsibility? What's not? How do I not get stuck in black and white thinking or no solution? So we're going to give you some of my favorite tools. And if you are brand new here, welcome back. And if you've already come back, I'm so glad to see you again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and also check out my different freebies down below to help you not only tune back into your intuition, but better help you navigate. So let's dive in to some of these favorite tools. So let's talk about tool number 1. Tool number 1 is my favorite tool. I use it all the time. Hand on your heart, hand on your belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale like you're exhaling 10 birthday candles, and let that center of attention drop from your head to your heart. And take a few deep breaths. When we are overwhelmed, we are stuck in information overload, and we're trying to figure it all out. From that place, that's where you get disconnected from your intuition, disconnected from the present moment, from solutions, and constantly try and figure it out. But when we recognize that our intuition, our spirit lives in our bodies, and the way that we connect back to our innate divine GPS, that divine consciousness, isn't through here, it's through here. And it lives in our bodies. Home number 1. We connect to your body as a safe place, as a grounded place, underneath the chatter. Your whole body will start to open up and resonate. And that's not only where you can get intuitive guidance, but solution, and actually just find support. Recognizing that your mind, the intellect, likes to think that it's all alone. It's all alone. And it's me versus you, and I'm the only one in the whole wide world. And we can be compassionate to our minds because the world is an intense place. It's intense to be a human being, especially in 2021. So when we can even take that breath and connect back to your innate divine consciousness, it helps to give you what we call room to breathe. That's where we can find solutions. That's where we can connect. That's where we can even just start to come back to the present moment instead of future, past, figure it out. So let's go to tool number 2. And this is one of my favorite tools, and this is ask for help. The thing that I know to be true about empaths, intuitives, healers, all of it, we like to do a lot, and we make ourselves extraordinarily responsible. And that even means with the universe. A lot of times we forget to ask our guides, our angels, our higher self for solutions. And when we actually don't ask for help and don't actually switch out of that place, we get disconnected. So even when I was leaving, I have a very old car. We call him Grandpa P. He's 19 years old. He's an old Acura. He was not going to make it out the storm. We have it, so we're just going to tool around New Orleans. And when I tried to figure out, I was like, oh my goodness, what can I do? How can I figure this out? I asked my angels for help, and they said, rent a car. Not only rent a car, but rent a car at Enterprise. And I called, they said at first they had no cars, and then all of a sudden a gentleman said, hold on, I have something for you. I have a car. And he did. And all of a sudden, what I had figured out as something that only my mind could figure out, my angels came in and helped. I delegated that to them. I said, this is your responsibility, angels. You gonna help me. And they did. This also works for our people in our human lives. If you are feeling overwhelmed, ask, am I taking on too much responsibility? Is this mine? If it's not, ask not only your guides and angels, but people in the real world. We forget that. Even in that same place, you know who else I asked? My partner. You know, I asked my mom. I asked a bunch of different people who helped me come up with solutions, and that helped to alleviate that place of over responsibility. So ask yourself, am I being overly responsible? And this can even be for the planetary consciousness. We have to remember that each of us are individuals and we can show up as a collective, but we can't do it all on our own. So that is a really important three. Three, like I was saying, being open to solutions. Just like I was saying a few moments ago, when we get into overwhelm, it can be really easy for us to get stuck in our heads, black, white, all, nothing, try and figure it out. And that disconnects us from the present moment, disconnects us from our intuition and to solutions. When we are in that place, you have to be open to something that you might not have thought of. What could be a solution to this problem? And maybe the solution doesn't need to be apparent, or it might not be something that your mind wants. Maybe if you're feeling overwhelmed in work or in life, that means that you have to reprioritize and rearrange things and make different room. You know, for me, when I am being open to different solutions, right now, my mind can be trying to figure out how it's all going to unfold, when we're going to get power, what the different things are, and taking it back, getting back to present, and knowing that solutions, and if I'm open to them, they will show up. And those are the ways that I can get supported. And it's the same for you. Now, number 4, this is another tool that is so important. Move your body. When you don't move, you become an energetic landfill. And that's where we get so caught up in our heads. The way that we'll think about it, if you're constantly scrolling on Instagram, the news, all these different things, you aren't paying attention to the present moment. And that is where we get stuck and overwhelmed. As soon as you move, not only is it instant meditation, instant anxiety, but is instant way that we can get guidance. Our intuition resides in the present moment. And the more movable you are, the more that you will actually pay attention to the energy. We say energy flows. That means you. Are you flowing? Are you moving? Like me, one of the things that I evacuated with was my yoga mat, because that is the way that I intentionally move every single day. And then last but not least, tool number 5, get organized. When we are in overwhelm, this a lot of times means that there are so many different things to do, and this is where we can use our intellect to be in service to our intuition. For example, for me, I thought all the things that I have to do, all of the things that are my responsibility versus what is not, and then in a way that is one foot in front of the other. What's one thing that I can do? What's one actionable step that I can take? And that's all I have to do. As I was always taught, you do your part and the universe will do its part. And so when we can get organized, that's when we can actually start to come up and take choices. Your choice is your power. And when we make decisions and go with it, and instead of overthinking, trying to figure it out, that's when we can actually start to move away from feeling overwhelmed, because overwhelm means that we're stuck. We're frozen. It's like, so making one teeny tiny decision, and even if that decision is as simple as I'm going to do one little thing to just even move this, because that will help connect you back to your power, to the present moment. And also remember, you don't have to hang and handle it all on your own. You have support. Ask for help. Do not forget, we need our community. We need our believing eyes. We need our tribe. We need the people to reflect us back to us. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, make sure too that you're sharing this. And like, if you're really feeling overwhelmed, this is something that you're constantly struggling with, I also really encourage you to get support, whether that's a therapist or a coach or journaling or anything. There are a lot of tools and resources, because our mind, and especially when we're struggling or feeling depressed or anxious, that's when we really, really feel alone, and you're not. And so these tools to help you plug back into yourself, know that you have power, that you have connection, that you have momentum, and you're not alone. You're overwhelmed. We share in that. That is that You're in it. As energetic, sensitive beings, we need to be sensitive to ourselves just as much as we're sensitive to the whole world. Do one thing, take one action. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. You know, if you haven't already, I encourage you to check out my spiritual toolkit. It has a really fabulous meditation, tons of tools and exercises. Take my spiritual type quiz. You can find out what kind of spirit you are and how to best care for yourself, because we all show up differently. And if you haven't already, if you're curious about your soul lessons, who you are, if you really are struggling and stuck, book a soul reading with me. You can find that too in the comments below, and come check out my site. There are tons of free tools, resources. I've got a podcast with my mom and my sister. We talk about living an intuitive life. So I am here. Now hit a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear, what are your favorite tools to navigate overwhelm? I'm sending you all my love. Bye.